You mentioned a lot about the return on your investment, attention, grabbing circumstances and efforts. And I'm wondering, in a landscape where controversy draws so much attention, how do you manage ethics and best practices with social media and the use of these tools?
So I would say ethics are ultimately your core belief and value system. I know people who I wholeheartedly disagree with and I would scream at the highest mountaintop against if they were in front of me, but I know they really believe what they're saying, right, wrong, or otherwise. So yes, that makes sense. With that being said, while controversy is a great thing, and again, another thing that the pundits and the blogosphere loves to say, this is what you should do when you blog. The other thing is controversy just for the sake of doing that is going to get you nowhere fast. Just because you write a controversial headline title, if the meat doesn't support the position, your ultimate goal is not going to be fulfilled. So just keep that in mind as well.
So how many more of these sites am I going to have to pay attention to, and how many more am I going to have to invest in the way, zero? Yeah, there you go. Because it's a very, it's a lot of work.
I think the answer is, you're almost saying it yourself, it's where the target audience is, right? If a new thing pops up and that's a niche group and that's one you have to market towards, because that's where your audience is, that you're going to get really high conversions from, then it's a great thing. It's not a bad thing. It's almost like taking the 800 million users that Facebook has and, hey, here's a niche group of that audience that you can now market to. It's not a bad thing that these sites are popping up.
So why did Capital One shift from direct mail into social media? And if that image still lingers in people's head, is it kind of tough to make friends and have followers on Twitter, or have you kind of had to shift the value of what you present to people?
So in terms of the direct mail piece, so what we found was that direct mail response rates were dropping, right? And so we had to look for other ways. So we have a massive investment in terms of digital marketing and those types of things. And there's only so much that I can share around that. But as I mentioned before, we have to think about other things that we can do, passions that people may have that relate back to our business, and would encourage people to become friends with us.